My boyfriend laughed and said, "Monogamy is so boring. We should try something new." I just shrugged. The next day, he came home to find his bags packed, his rent due, and a letter that read, "Guess life just got exciting." I never thought I'd be sharing this, but here I am. I'm a 34-year-old woman living in Chicago, and the past year has been a whirlwind. I feel like I need to get this off my chest. I met Alex 3 years ago at an art exhibition in Pilsen. He had this magnetic energy, and his laugh was infectious. We started talking about the paintings, and before I knew it, we were deep in conversation about everything from jazz to our favorite pizza spots. It felt like we just clicked. After a few months of dating, Alex moved into my apartment in Logan Square. Our days were filled with spontaneous road trips to Wisconsin, late-night jazz sessions at the Green Mill, and lazy Sundays wandering through the Art Institute. I genuinely believed we had something special. But about a year ago, things started to change. Alex began working late more often at his marketing firm downtown. Our weekend adventures became less frequent, and he was constantly on his phone, smiling at messages he wouldn't share. When I asked him about it, he'd brush it off, saying it was just work stuff. One evening, while I was making dinner, Alex casually said, "Monogamy is so boring. We should try something new." I laughed, thinking he was joking, but he looked serious. He started talking about opening up our relationship to spice things up. I felt a knot in my stomach, but just shrugged, hoping it was a passing phase. The following weeks were tense. Alex became more distant, and my gut told me something was off. One night, he didn't come home, claiming he crashed at a friend's place after too many drinks. That was it for me. The next day, while he was at work, I packed his belongings into suitcases and left them by the door with a letter on top that read, "Guess life just got exciting." I changed the locks and sent him a text, letting him know his things were waiting for him. Alex was furious, accusing me of overreacting and not understanding his needs. But I stood my ground. Trust, once broken, is hard to rebuild. I leaned heavily on my friends and family during this time. My best friend, Maria, took me to her family's cabin in Michigan for a weekend getaway. The change of scenery helped clear my mind and reaffirm my decision. In the months that followed, I focused on myself. I enrolled in a pottery class at a local studio in Wicker Park, something I'd always wanted to do. I started attending therapy, which provided me with tools to process the betrayal and rebuild my self-esteem. I also reconnected with old hobbies like playing the piano and writing. I even started a blog about my journey, hoping to help others going through similar experiences. About 6 months after the breakup, I met someone new. Daniel was a photographer I met at a mutual friend's gallery opening. He was patient, understanding, and most importantly, honest. We took things slow, and for the first time in a long while, I felt truly seen and valued. Looking back, I'm grateful for the experience, as painful as it was. It taught me the importance of self-worth and the necessity of setting boundaries. I learned that it's okay to walk away from situations and people that no longer serve you. About 2 months after Alex moved out, just when things were starting to feel calm again, I got a message on Facebook from a woman named Sierra. I almost ignored it. I didn't recognize her name, but something about it felt off. The message was short. "Hey, not sure if this is weird, but I think we need to talk about Alex." My heart dropped. I stared at the screen for a solid 5 minutes before responding. I told her I didn't want any drama, but if she had something important to say, I was listening. She replied almost instantly. "I didn't know you two were still together. I thought he lived alone. I've been seeing him for over a year." Over a year? My hands were shaking. I asked her to be more specific. She said they met through mutual friends, started hooking up casually, and it turned into something more. She said he told her he had just gotten out of a long relationship months ago. According to her, they spent weekends together, went to concerts, and he even took her to his company's holiday party. The worst part? He took her to a jazz night at the Green Mill. Our spot. I asked for proof. Screenshots, photos. She didn't hesitate. She sent me a picture of the two of them at the Bean last summer, The same weekend he told me he was out of town for a work retreat. It felt like the ground was cracking under me. I didn't reply right away. I just sat there, holding my phone, replaying every moment over the last year in my head. The late nights, the sudden work trips, the coldness. It all made sense now. A few hours later, Sierra messaged me again. I confronted him. He admitted it. Said you were controlling and didn't support his sexual growth. He called you bitter and said you were emotionally manipulative. Is that true? That hit hard. Alex had always been smooth, always knew how to spin things. I never thought he'd straight up lie like that to someone else. I told her exactly what happened, what he said, how I packed his stuff, how I let him go without a fight. Sierra apologized. Said she didn't want to get in the middle of anything. Said she felt stupid. I told her not to. I wasn't mad at her. She didn't owe me anything. I actually felt weirdly grateful she reached out. It gave me clarity I didn't know I needed. But just when I thought it was over, it got worse. A week after the messages with Sierra, I got a call from my landlord. Hey, I got your rent payment, but Alex called saying you locked him out and that he was still on the lease. He wants to contest the eviction. Excuse me? We had both signed the lease, sure, but I paid every month. I covered utilities. I decorated the damn place. When he moved in, he said he'd contribute, but he only paid rent for the first 2 months. After that, it was always money's tight or can I Venmo you later? Now he was claiming I forced him out? I called Alex, furious. He answered like nothing happened. Hey, stranger, he said, like we were old friends. I didn't even bother with pleasantries. I laid it all out, Sierra, the rent, the lies. He laughed. He actually laughed. Come on, he said. You knew this wasn't going to be forever. You were always a little too intense for me. I just needed some space. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. He continued, look, monogamy is outdated. People our age should be exploring. You were clinging to this fantasy of love that doesn't exist anymore. I did what I had to do. You lied, I said. That's what you did. Everyone lies, he said. You just weren't ready to grow up. I hung up. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I just felt done. But then he made a mistake. He tried to come back. 3 days later, he showed up at my door. Literally. With flowers and this stupid grin on his face. I figured you'd cool down by now, he said. I didn't even open the door. Just stood there on the other side, watching him through the peephole. After a minute, he knocked again. Let's be adults, okay? I miss you. You miss me too, I know you do. I called Maria. She came over in 10 minutes flat, keys in one hand and pepper spray in the other. When Alex saw her pull up, he backed off, but not before saying, you'll regret this. I gave you the best years of your life. That night, I couldn't sleep. Not because I missed him, but because I realized how deep the manipulation had gone. And I knew, in my gut, it wasn't over yet. Something told me Alex wasn't done causing problems. 2 weeks went by. No calls. No texts. I started to think maybe he finally got the message. I was feeling lighter. I even booked a trip to New Orleans with Maria, just to get away. That's when the second twist hit. One afternoon, I got a notification from my bank. A strange charge for $689 at a designer boutique in River North. My heart skipped. I hadn't been shopping. I checked the transaction history. 2 more charges popped up, $112 at some rooftop bar I'd never heard of, and $53 for a rideshare. I froze. Then it clicked. Alex still had access to my old credit card. Months ago, when he moved in, I added him as an authorized user on one of my cards. It was for emergencies back when I trusted him. I called the bank. They confirmed the charges were made by the authorized user under his name. I reported it, canceled the card, and filed a fraud report. The bank said they'd investigate. I wasn't hopeful. They don't usually get involved when it's an authorized user situation. I texted him, you used my card. That's theft. He replied, relax. I'll pay you back. Stop being dramatic. No apology. No shame. Just that smug tone, like I owed him something for the time we spent together. That same week, Sierra messaged me again. She said Alex had started staying at her place, temporarily, and told her he was dealing with toxic energy from an ex. Yep, I was the toxic ex now. She said he barely worked, spent her money, and tried to get her to open a joint checking account. She refused. He started getting mean, controlling her, monitoring where she went. Then he found the old messages she and I had exchanged. And that's when it turned nasty. He told her I was stalking him, that I tried to sabotage their relationship, that I was mentally unstable. She said for a while she believed him, he was charming and convincing. But then he slipped up. He showed her a picture from our trip to Milwaukee, and in the corner of the frame, she noticed her own necklace. He had taken it from her dresser, probably to impress me. She kicked him out. We ended up meeting for coffee. It was surreal, two women who never should have met, now bonding over the same manipulative man. We compared notes. He used the same lines on both of us. Same charm, same lies. He even told both of us his mother had cancer, which turned out to be completely made up. At first, we were angry. Then we just laughed. It was so absurd, it almost didn't feel real. But that's not the end. A few days later, I got an email from a woman named Talia. She found me through my blog. Her message? I read your post and recognized him. I think we dated the same guy. Turns out, Alex had been living a double, or maybe triple life. Talia had been seeing him off and on for 2 years. He told her he was a traveling consultant and only came back to Chicago occasionally. She lived in Hyde Park and met him through a yoga class. He'd stay with her between work trips. She believed every word. Talia found out the truth after Googling him and finding my blog. She reached out, not expecting a reply. But now I had 3 women all of us lied to, all of us betrayed, all of us wondering how we ever trusted this guy. And that's when the final twist dropped. Maria came over one night with a weird look on her face. She sat me down and said, "You're not gonna like this." Apparently, her cousin works in real estate. And guess who just applied for a rental under Maria's cousin's agency? Alex. He listed my apartment as his previous residence. When they ran a background check, there were 4 reports, 3 for failure to pay rent, 1 for disturbance. Maria's cousin was smart. She flagged the application and denied it. But now we knew, he wasn't just reckless, he was spiraling. Jumping from woman to woman, place to place, burning every bridge on the way. I started getting nervous. What if he showed up again? What if he tried something worse? I filed a police report, not because I thought they'd do anything, but to have a record. I added a security camera to my door. I kept a bat by my bed. But deep down, I wasn't scared of what he might do. I was scared of how close I'd come to staying with someone like that. To marrying him. To building a life with a man who wore a mask so well, even I believed it. And something tells me, he's still out there, still charming the next one, still telling the same stories. No ending yet. Because I don't think his damage is done. It all came to a head at a mutual friend's engagement party. Maria and I almost didn't go, but we figured enough time had passed. It had been nearly 4 months since the whole mess with Alex. He had gone quiet. I hadn't seen or heard from him. Sierra blocked him. Talia moved out of the city. It felt like he had finally vanished from our lives. We were wrong. The party was in a rooftop lounge downtown, fancy, loud, full of people from our old circle. I was halfway through my second drink when I saw him. Alex. He looked the same. Same smug smile. Same expensive button-down, probably paid for with someone else's credit card. And right beside him was a woman I didn't recognize, tall, stunning, clearly unaware of who she was standing next to. Our eyes met. I turned away immediately. My heart was pounding. Maria grabbed my arm and whispered we should go. But I couldn't. Not this time. I was tired of running. Tired of pretending he didn't get under my skin. Then he approached. "Hey," he said, casual, like nothing had happened. "You look good. Really good." I laughed. Not because it was funny, but because of how insane it was. You're unbelievable, I said. Seriously. What? I can't say hi to an old flame. Old flame, I repeated, raising my voice. You mean the woman you cheated on for over a year? The one you gaslit, stole from, and slandered to every girl you screwed. People started turning. Conversations around us paused. He leaned in, voice low. You really want to do this here? I didn't back down. I didn't do this. You did. That's when Sierra appeared out of nowhere. I didn't even know she was coming to the party. She stood beside me and looked at Alex with pure disgust. You lied to her. You lied to me. And you're still doing it, she said. Does she know? She pointed to the woman he came with. Does she know your mom's not dying? That you don't have a job? That you've been couch surfing like a parasite? His new date looked confused. Wait. What? Then Maria stepped in, phone in hand. She pulled up the screenshots, texts, dates, photos, all of it. The woman stared at Alex, face pale. Is this true? He scoffed, trying to laugh it off. They're crazy. All of them. No, I said. We just talk to each other now. The tension exploded. Alex tried to play it off, then got angry. Said we were ruining his reputation, that we were jealous and bitter. People watched. Some friends backed away. Others looked shocked. I loved you, I said, finally. Loud enough for everyone to hear. I let you into my life, my home, my heart, and you turned it into a joke. His smile cracked. Everything you said was a lie. You don't believe in monogamy? Fine. But you don't lie about it while pretending to be someone you're not. That's cowardly. That's sick. He didn't respond. He couldn't. The woman with him left. Sierra walked out too. Maria stayed by my side. And Alex? He just stood there. Alone. Exposed. The rest of the night was a blur. People whispered. Some came up to me, said they had no idea, that they were sorry. Others avoided eye contact. Alex left not long after, slipping out while no one was looking. Later, Sierra messaged me, I'm glad you said it. I never could. Talia texted too, after seeing a video someone posted. That was powerful. I'm proud of you. I didn't hear from Alex again. A few weeks later, I got an official letter from the bank. They cleared the charges as fraud after reviewing my report. That was the last piece I needed. I moved to a new apartment near Andersonville. Smaller, quieter. Mine. I kept writing. My blog picked up more readers, mostly women, mostly people with stories like mine. And slowly, I began to heal. Sometimes, late at night, I still think about the way he laughed that day he said, monogamy is boring. I remember how I shrugged, unsure. Now I know better. It wasn't monogamy that was boring, it was him. His lies, his cowardice, his emptiness dressed up as confidence. I still believe in love. I still believe in trust. But now I believe in boundaries more. And myself most of all. I'm not bitter. I'm awake.